documenting Metamorphosis. 13th day of June. I wanted to make a thing on today. It's Thursday. I wanted to make a thing on Monday talking about how one thing I noticed was that smoking pot was the only thing that caused any plaque or disturbance in my brain and nervous system. And that was a big thing to get to that point where that's the case, where I've cleared everything else out. So that's, if you're going to smoke pot, only smoke organic, sun-grown, stuff that's grown with love in real soil. Not that I'm telling you what to do, there's a recommendation. That's the very point, I'll come back to that. And organic tobacco. And that is right. That is the thing. See, I sound like I'm telling you what to do. I don't tell any motherfucker what to do. I don't use the word should. People ask me what should I do, then there's no should. And I most certainly do not tell anyone what to do. So, it's Thursday and I didn't say that. So what I wanted to say on Monday was that I feel like that's a monumental thing for it's a spiritual application of the performing arts training that makes you experience yourself and spiritually interrogate yourself. That's what that's about. Whereas other art forms don't prepare you for all things in life. So you have a Kung Fu grandmaster will divorce his wife and it'd be like, well, it's just not really that uncommon. You could have the most accomplished master of whatever and they could their marriage could break up. That's a perfect thing, you know, and this is the stuff that we have all the training for in everything else in life except for how to have a relationship, how to have a relationship with ourselves, and then how to have a relationship. That's a big thing. Let's just look at relationship. And that's what this is. That's what we're about. That's what we're in life for. We're with others in life for their ability to reflect self back to self. That's what we are in life for. Connection and relationship. And art as well. Like I was saying this morning. Now, it's been a very emotional day. An incredibly emotional day. I don't know if I've ever had a day like this before. So, I woke up and I was brewing a coffee and getting going, and I was moved. Just thinking, remembering about Jaden's dance last night, and I was absolutely sorry, I just realised this AE lock thing. I realised how moved I was, and I did a little thing to go like, here's that shining example of vulnerability and realness. Okay, it's real. Be real. And this is what I'm doing, a shining example of vulnerability. And that's what this whole thing is about, so that people might feel inspired where you might get up and you go, I'm going to go and do this practice, whatever it is that inspires you, whatever is important, even throwing a cricket ball at a wall or whatever. And then you go, nah, I'm not going to do that. Well, hopefully this inspires you to get up and go and do it. Do it. Whatever it is. If it's a thing that you come up with and go, I'm going to do this, and you got some vibe, and then you might decide not to do it because of what it might look like, or what other people might think, or what you think of yourself based on what other people might think, or what you think other people think, and all this kind of stuff that goes on in your mind, and put it to the side. Observe that that's how you feel, and go and do that thing, and keep doing it, and keep doing it, and keep doing it, because it doesn't matter what it is, you'll get good at it. That's what I'm trying to get across here, and go all the way. And you'll find that if you can apply yourself in a particular manner where you know yourself, you will get results that will shine in everything else in your life. And I'm trying to take this thing that is this elusive training practice that you can't see and put it into this format where you can take it, whoever watches this might be able to take it and look at it with whatever lens they want to look at it. Whether it be shooting pistols, archery, any combat-orientated martial art, or any combat-orientated art, then any spiritual art. It comes down to the art of living, that you look at every path is the right path, and every way that there is to live and to get through a day is an art of living. So what happened then was that I had that moment of feeling comfortable to show that I was shedding some tears just by being moved by watching this guy I train with dance, and being very grateful that he did that for me, that I'm not good enough to make it into like a proper film clip, and or if I am, I actually am now, yeah, I am, so this is the thing, but still, no, I'm not good enough. But that's the thing, I am good enough, but I'm not good enough. You get it? And that's the point, so fucking do it. And then it's the set and all that. Like I would not want to release anything with him unless it was proper good, because I don't want him to lower his standard for me. And so then this video will come, and it will be, I suppose, put after this in this playlist. And it'll be the first one with a post-production that I'm going to link up an introduction with this camera, and then play that sound over the top of the other camera footage. Because the rest of it, I'm just doing it like nuts and bolts. The most basic it can get. Not editing or putting anything on over the top. To inspire people to see that you can do it. I know this is different. This is not really performance. This is like but like it's there. This is real stuff. And it's beautiful, freezing cold up here. So I can focus now. The dogs can run. Right in the dead centre of a cemetery, which is right in the dead centre of town. Everybody's dying to get into the place. And it's exclusive. No one living in Brisbane is allowed to be buried here. So I got a phone call just after I filmed, and I instantly filmed and uploaded, and then I got a phone call while that video was still uploading. And then from my lover. And 7 minutes and 44 seconds of small talk, and then that was like, I was leaving to go pick up 2 puppies that had been left because I missed a phone call. I slept past a phone call at 9:30 and needed to get going. And I fuss about my pups. I start to get pretty urgent, pretty quick. Like my only stipulation these days is these dogs are not to be left alone. These are the 2 puppies. With their mum. Alright, so then I got this phone call and I just playing along and so I'm coughing bruised and got it in the cup, getting in the car, and then she says she turns out she's right near the puppies, so she'll just go and grab them. She knows people, and it's take oi, go somewhere else. Go somewhere else, do that. Bufo, listen to me. He's a bit different to Elvis, so you're going to be told to stop right now. So it become about this thing that she wanted a plan that I had not been able to work out because I've been on the phone to her, and I was going to make that was the 3rd phone call, so I was going to make 2 phone calls, and it was never going to happen anyway because she took my responsibility of collecting the pups, so I wasn't going to be driving to this place, driving past there. Anyway, it's like it became emotional. Like I became stressed because I stopped leaving. I was not leaving. And then she talked about all this other stuff, and she hadn't left. And then she wasn't going to go and do it because she didn't know the next start of the plan and didn't want to be sitting around waiting for 10 minutes. But there was no thing about waiting for 10 minutes. And I was like, look, I can't do this. Like, I just need to go and get the pups. I don't know what the plan. I can't fit all this other stuff. I don't know. I got to get you that information. I can't deal with this. This like, I just need. And so it got intense, right? And it felt like she got emotional, and I was just being objective, and I was emotional. I got emotional for the stress, but it felt like she got some emotion, like it just like suddenly roadblock, not happening, and it was all about pups. I said to this person who had the pups that they could leave and go to work because the pups were in this pen, and I would be there within 15 minutes. And I would have been, but I didn't leave, you see, and I would have left, and I'd be halfway there. And then that whole, like, could have kept being on the phone. The phone would just flick the Bluetooth and drive, you know, but I didn't drive, and that was the thing. So anyway, she got the shits at me. Whereas, like, I flare up like that, but I didn't have the shits at her, you know. I'm just like, I can't. I'll facilitate you in any way in my life and my day, but I can't be messing around with all this stuff now. I need to get the pups. And, yeah, so anyway, that was that. It's just derailed and it's not going anywhere. Then I had to call it back to say, like, I don't know what's going on. Are you getting the pups or am I getting the pups? And we both started that conversation. We don't want to talk about anything. It's just about the pups. And so I just need to confirm. But then it was straight away not about the pups. It was about, do you think I would send you a message saying I'm going to get the pups and then not? And I just wanted to hear the voice say yes, no, need that, and it was all about all this other stuff, not about pups. So that phone call didn't last more than a few seconds. Like, that's not happening again. I'm not doing that again. And then I was going to call John, my teacher and mentor, and talk about some logistics of having to move some stuff and say that I've got a space that I can allocate to you, that you can stage stuff, but it needs to be off the ground. So just try and work out, like, it needs to be able to move quickly, but there's a space I can give you so you can stage materials and equipment, so you don't need to go and stage them over that other place for like workplace health and safety kind of considerations, because it's a different kind of venue. And so it's just a thing about helping and just making things easy and functional out of nowhere, and everything else had already been planned and organised, and there wasn't a problem. I was just saying, look, there is this thing here. I just felt compelled to say it to him, because I think it will make him, it doesn't think he needs it, but I think it would make things a lot easier for him. And anyway, I would normally wait 5 minutes and then make a phone call like that, but I decided to use that energy that just was there, and I just said something quickly ago, like, I understand something that you said to me the other day and a few weeks ago. I can see that, and not like you, because I would never say to a teacher, I understand the lesson or I understand that thing, but because this is about art, right, then is like, I understand an interpretation. I understand something about what you're saying to me. I have this interpretation. And then this just come up, and then this is this fucking contrast. And he said a few things, like, right on it. And then I said, yeah, like, see, because of that. And so this is this contrast of this reflection thing. And I tried to say something about how interaction with a woman and yelling can really fuck things up, and the damage that does is something that we don't fucking see as men, and it's not until we get like this look later on, and it's like he's saying this thing about this unlived energy thing that he felt that he had, and he's putting it to me that I have that, and I do have someone in my immediate family that died at birth. So there is this thing that could really sit with this unlived energy thing. It's a metaphor, right? And that's what he said to me at this point. It's a metaphor, and this is the thing. Like I said something to him as a metaphor, reflection kind of thing, based on something he said to me as his interpretation. But I made it sound like, just with a few words, as I started saying the thing, the context, the way that I used the word you colloquially, and this has been a problem that has been presented to me in the past, but it's just the way I brought it up, so it still is in there, and it's very Australian, so that was one thing. And then it was a thing that he had mentioned to me, that it was about how when I saw that freaked the fuck out of me. And then I said to him the other day, looking at all these tools around the set and all this eclectic stuff that he's producing, and the mess and all of that like is just so textured and full of, like, I don't feel so bad about myself living like this. Like, I live like this. This is my environment, and I've been living like this for years, and I'm kind of stuck in something. But it's like there's a lot of therapeutic creativity process in it. And I actually did this, I used to call it man therapy. And people come around and they want to sit down and talk, and they want to smoke cigarettes and drink beer and stuff, or have coffee in the morning and drink beer, and I just didn't want people sitting around smoking cigarettes and drinking and talking and doing nothing. And I didn't want to stop and sit down and do nothing as well. And I would then have something that I'd be sanding back, because there was also people would be, I noticed it with men, that they would be in their mind and they'd be dealing with something. And it started actually with the guy that I was working with, and him having issues with his woman, who was a good friend of mine, and before they had kids. And so that was the thing about that. It was therapy for him to fix something one day. And I'm like, yeah, it is like that, And so that's what I used to do, this man therapy. And I do like a 3-minute challenge where you got 3 minutes to take something, because there's this upcycle purpose thing. Anyway, I'm deviating. So you have to fix it in 3 minutes, then put it down and go like. Then actually there was about the art, because then they couldn't stop. It was like, how much is enough? When it's a piece of art, how much is enough? And when you're polishing a turd, how much is enough? Right, so there's, come on little one. So there's a bit of context. Anyway, I looked around all this and I was like, I don't feel so bad about myself constantly being in this kind of state of working and doing this. Come on, little one, where are you? Come on, little one. There's my little one. Oh, my little one. There you go. There's my little one. Say hello. Oh, my little one. Come on, little one. Oh, my little one. So that's this context, right, about how it's a therapeutic exercise to be fixing something. And it was actually he that day that he had to fix something. And I'd already seen other stuff, and I'm like, why do you do it that way? It's like, it's the most eclectic, roundabout way of doing something. Like, it's actually kind of an insane thing to do, but it's like, it was just such a beautiful piece of art, like, see how this has fallen down here, and somebody has propped it up, and it looks nice, and a loving memory of a dear friend. And it's a bit like this, like this is art, is it not? Look at that. It's art. So, I made it sound. Sorry, I finished that point. The eclectic, all the different bits and bobs, and turning in, repurpose, turning into something else, and making this art thing, and making this really cool stuff that's textured and sort of really see it. It keeps him firing and keeps him interested in. And because I said that makes me feel better about myself. And then there's also this inspiration, but just seeing all the mad ways that you do things, and then you just do it anyway, and it works, But sorry, my little one. It gives me a lot of contrast in my whole life. Like, it gives me a lot of inspiration that I can get through this because I'm just overwhelmed and burdened and nothing works. It makes me feel like getting through it. And because he tied up this guard before he had to cut these timbers, go and make this thing with roundabout way. He tied up this guard so beautifully with this shoelace, and it worked with all the different things. Like, normally you'd put a pin in there and you got all these power tools, but you chose to do that, and it was so delicate and it works, and it just looked artistic. It almost looked like a bow. The saw had a bow on it, and anyway, so like, then because I've just got this, I've had to throw myself even further out there to just try and find a peace in myself in this life. And so the contrast and all of that, I find just so helpful for me to come to terms with myself. You guys want a drink? And then it's really funny because I feel that way about you. I feel the same about you, and I'm like, oh, really? Okay, well, oh. And then I actually took some comfort in that as well, I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. And some people would probably be freaked out about that, but this is the whole point. Like, I can't be offended, and I can't be insulted, and even if someone was trying to insult me and call me names and stuff like that, they're giving me all this energy, which means that's actually love, because there's life force energy in love, So I made it sound like I was saying to my teacher and my mentor, who is twice my age, and obviously I really respect, because I've spent a lot of fucking time talking about this, and I really respect him as a human being for what he is and how he is and who he is, and I'm so fucking grateful, and he's the first person who allowed me to be myself. And then he's got this whole art thing, and then he's got this whole training thing, which is so much, all of this stuff is in my background, but I never considered myself an artist until like 10 weeks ago. You see, so there's a big thing, that something is tearing me apart inside, and then my whole life has fallen apart. And there's been a lot of things happen. There's like, there are relationships. Like, the reason I'm living in fucking poverty is because of relationships. That's why. That's the reason why, yeah? There's no fucking doubt about that. And I could have so easily, I say, if it was anyone else, particularly if they're Japanese or Chinese or Korean, but I'd say any other fucking Australian, any other person, then that probably would have been the end of that relationship on the phone right then. That's it. Because it sounded like I was telling my mentor, who's twice my age and just fucking is a genius. Like, he is a genius. He's a fucking genius. And it sounded like I was telling him how to behave as a human being, and most especially how to behave towards his wife. And I made reference to stuff as a reflection of seeing how that generation is and this generation is, and this reflection of seeing something, and him being the only one that's able to really make me see something that actually fucking really does shock me about myself. But I made it sound like I was saying that about him. That he is the one that fucking needs to be aware of how he is with his wife, and he is behaving as a human being, and he's behaving as his wife. And it's just like such a fucking inappropriate realm to even be going in anywhere near, let alone to have specifics. And it did sound like that because the words I fucking said, and they come out this way to try and give a context, but they sort of come out the wrong way. It's just such a, it's not even a dyslexic thing. You know, when you're dyslexic, sometimes you say things fucking the wrong way, and I am being a little bit like this, like switching something, like something said to be this way, and then I'm kind of, it's like when you're reversing a trailer. Oh, look, my little ones. My feet are huge. My feet are as big as you. Do not go anywhere near them, please. Come on, come. You know, it's only ever when I'm saying something about this romanticized, artistic, beautiful thing that I've noticed that is a synchronicity in the way that the world keeps turning, and the wonder of human relationships. And the anomalies and the phenomenon. You know, it's always, look at this intrinsic beautiful wonder here. But people, I don't think that I was saying things that are important, but I've had a lot of feedback like this, but it's enough. I've never been able to pin anything and go, well, what is it that I actually said? On the few occasions that I actually get told something, but you know, I'm stuck. Like, people don't say things to me; they just don't ever fucking have anything to do with me again, or they'll say things about me to someone else who'll then tell them I just don't bother working with him. Or the people, it's very clear. It's like I've found something today about why the fuck I'm not getting any work. And it's always whatever I've got as a feeling. Come on, whatever I've got as a feeling to hone in on and back to. It's always whatever, or just the facts are of the circumstance, because I only had a 30-second conversation with somebody, and it's all just pleasantries and niceties. Like pleasantries, like being pleasant. And then it's a fucking disservice to not just speak fucking straightforward to people and tell them clearly. Like, just express fucking clearly to each other. I see through a lot of shit, you know. I see through people's facades and their masks because of being the particular type of healer and particular type of person I've been for the last 20 years. But I've always had this ever since I was a baby. I've had this. I see through things. I see people. I see things in people's eyes. I see people for who they are, and I accept them for who they are. But I see things in people. I see it straight. I see it in people's faces. I see it at a glance, and it's there. It's done. I can't unsee it. And I thought that I'm like, I don't know, but that if this is so relevant or not, because I don't think it is. I think this is more like something said to me from a philosophical point of view and an artistic point of view, and then we have these very interesting conversations. This is a big thing about this documenting Metamorphosis, because I actually have access to him during the week, and to Jackie, and they say these things to me. Like I get like multiple lessons a week, and these people actually are incredibly well accomplished, top level of what they do. What they did their whole lives, and now they're making this other stuff. But you see the work that they did back then, like it's sort of like the best in the world back 40 years ago, doing their thing on the world stage, like the best, most cultured, most sophisticated, most tidy, most elegant, most perfect, most intricate, most impeccable. So there's so much to gain from them, and the philosophy, and they are living longevity. They're in good state of longevity, and the masterful perspective. And then that, you know, like they are real masters. They're real masters. That's why I'm doing this, because I recognize master when I see them. I knew that this is going to be some amazing thing. So I'm documenting it, because I have these two masters in Australia, in the Western world, that I get to spend this extra time with them. They're really teaching me so much, and I would never say, oh yeah, I understand what you mean, because I've understood that. I've come to understand that. It's not, but in this case, as an artistic, it's like everything is like going to the gallery of modern art. Every tiny thing. That's always what my life is like. But then it's like things get said to me in this philosophical and artistic point of view, and then I thought about it, and I said something back about my reflection, myself, but I made it sound like I was talking about him and telling him how to behave as a human being and how to behave towards his wife, and about fucking yelling and being aggressive and scaring her, you know. So this is fucked up. This is a fucked up thing to sound like saying to anyone is going to get their fucking back up, but sound like saying it to your fucking teacher, and who you treat like a fucking master and like a mentor. Like we have this different kind of dialogue when interacting a certain way, but then when it comes to training, then it's like fucking yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, or yes seafood, yes sir. You know, like it's like doing kung fu, and with the best fucking grandmaster in the world. You know, that's what it's like. That's what it's like. And so I can make this. I'm coming back to the venue and jump in the car now, and because we were filming, I was here filming tonight with them, helping them make their film and working on the set filming. Thank fuck, you know, like I was able to have conversation. I called back immediately and said, look, fuck, that went well. I'm really sorry, that was not what I meant to say. And we had a conversation. And then I called him back later on and said, look, this is really fucking affecting me. And I just, because I was going to go down and say it to him personally, and so I just want, like this, I really feel quite affected. And then after that, he was fine. He was, look, it's good, look, I'm done with it, okay, it's fine. Don't worry. So we haven't talked about it tonight when I come down here. But the whole afternoon was written off. I was so affected. Never felt so ashamed. I never felt so totally ashamed to have said something so unconsciously of how it could have been perceived and how it could have come across. And yeah, that's a real serious that noise. There's nobody here. Why is that noise? There's a real serious thing to become aware of. Because I suppose it's compounded with like all the other stuff that has been missed, that has ruined all the relationships that I don't know about what it was that was interpreted as the other meaning and what that meaning could have been. And I will never know about those other relationships. There won't ever be closure. They won't ever respond to me, and shock. Shock. So that thing that I've been looking for by taking this retreat and all that stuff that happened with the police and all this kind of stuff, as all this stuff churns over and feeling so much better, but I still had not found this thing that was the reason why I'm not getting paid currency. There's all kinds of people that have all kinds of experiences of me and get what they want out of me, but basically no one's working with me and I'm not getting paid any money for what I'm doing. And it's been such a long time now, and I've just been living with this complete acceptance of this lack of hope, and there must be something, because the divine is with me every day. I focus a lot of time and energy into the divine, into that focus of what the divine is. And I have been so fixated on finding a solution for a good solid 12 or 13 weeks now straight, without relent at all, and found a number of little insights that are kind of like, that's not the groundbreaking thing, and then there's all these other little insights as well that go with it that are not really that recognizable, but then it turns out that they all compound and they actually are quite powerful and quite profound. And they have those checks, those little check, and they all come together And right. But today, and so I had one as well, which I didn't put in. I became aware of how anxious I got when I was filming a film clip with a good friend the other day. I just wanted that to be a really great thing, and that showed me a lot about myself. And then that morning I had this thing with John where I just felt this anxiety, and that was the thing where I said to him that I feel better about myself, I feel more comfortable about myself with seeing you. Then when I got there to see him, and it's just because I said I was going to be there at 11 o'clock, but I got there at 11:15. And I sent a message at 11:04, going to say, mark the time, you see. I said 11 o'clock. And it's like, it wasn't an issue to him. I go, but it's an issue to me because you're the only person who's got what I want. Because you're the only person who knows why he's doing what he's doing. And then a few minutes later, he's tying up the bloody power saw with a shoelace. And so that's what happened. It's been like some pretty massive insights. And then I got really anxious. So that was a day of anxiety. That was 2 days ago. And then when it comes to the evening time, then I got really anxious. I was trying to do some stuff with the dogs and film stuff. It was never going to happen. And they were really full on. And I got really anxious because I didn't want to fuck up my friend's timing or flow. But I just wanted it to be a really fucking high level, top quality production. And actually I had like 3 little healing crises in that. Like I was fucked. And I realized I was giving absolutely everything to it. And I was exhausting myself halfway through it. And I was not in the connection and the flow and the vibe. But that turned out, what I caught on camera was, she was better than what she wanted, so she's stoked. But this is the thing with art, you get really full on about equality and but today, that insight, the understanding, the revelation, it's like there was a lot of structure in my mind of just corroding like rust. It's like these guide rails on a boat kind of thing in my mind, and then some other, so I can't really explain, but it's just fading away. And then it was like a disassociation of a lot of stuff in here, like it was actually I could see and feel, and there's this Qigong meditation thing that I had to go through. Terribly ashamed. And gratitude will come a bit more, but it's pretty serious, pretty mortifying. To come like I'm a liability, I need to then now stay. I've come to realise, and I've said that in the email, I just go, look, this is clear. I've become a liability. Moving from one venue where you got a workshop over to this other venue, like there's going to be more people there, and I need to not be around you there. I need to not be there. I need to stay away from people. If there's people, because there's a certain demographic there, and it's like I just need to. But it doesn't matter about that demographic. It's just wherever it is, there's people around. I could say something to them and not even fucking realise, and that could ruin the thing for him because it's associated with me. Don't want that fella there, so I just need to not be around. I'm going to go there and train on Sundays and just fucking not. Like I wouldn't interact with people there anyway. Like I go there, train, don't interact. But if you just happen to be somewhere and someone says something to you, and they offer you a cup of tea, for instance, so you go to the kitchen and you make a cup of tea with them, and then you go and do your thing, That's fucking dangerous. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like, that's what happens. People offer you a cup of tea. You go to the canteen or lunchroom or tea room, and you use a kettle or the boiling water that's there and a tap, and you make a cup of tea, and you go do your thing, whatever you're there for, on a professional scale. And I don't know what the fuck I said, but there's got to be something like that, whatever it is. So I'm very grateful for it, and I thought I'd make some art, but the best thing I thought about making art is just like gluing the back of a mirror onto like a piece of fabric or something like that, and then smash it with a hammer, and then stretch the fabric out. And then what? See, the point is then what? Alright. Yeah, so I'm grateful, still training, but still a fair bit of it to hit me hard. Fucking exhausted from it. Emotionally exhausted from having to try and please my lover, and the way that I'm all this preconditioned, and these are soul conditioned kind of things. But that's why she's my lover, and we're not in a relationship. I don't have it in me to give that, and I certainly don't want to have to deal with that kind of stuff. But still, I would still feel this obligation and get caught up in other people's stress. And then that's something that, like, I feel bad about that. I don't feel good about it, but that is what it is. It's accepted, and it's very much, if that's the thing that comes up, if it comes up like that and it can't be resolved, then that's pretty telling. That tells you something. That is what it is, and I don't have the energy to go into that. But this other thing that come from that, with that energy, is the sharpness and feelings, come like just the contrast of it all, really shows something that I might actually be able to hone in on and use and actually make some change in my life. Uru.